Hello and welcome back to RimWorld. Last time we were in the Rambonian Nights, but unfortunately, or I guess it's probably more fortunately, the game has been updated to Alpha 17, and now we have to start a new colony because the old one won't open because not all of the mods are updated yet. So, you know, it's a tiny problem. Unfortunately, the Rambonian Knights have been sent to some terrible otherworldly realm wherein half the things in their colony no longer cease to exist. Sorry, no longer exist. No longer ceasing to exist would be kind of weird. Anyway, we're going to go with Crash Landed, Rough, because, you know what, we did some challenge previously, but we need to step it up a notch because, quite frankly, the Rambonian Knights did way too well. We're going to have a standard 50% globe coverage and generate. This should be beautiful. Now I'm thinking, instead of landing in some sort of like temperate forest where everything's nice and happy and you got butterflies and everyone's just skipping through the fields, thinking about how nice life is as they make tons of food and continue to survive and not die, I figure we should go someplace where it actually makes our people slightly rugged. You know, we can't have these pansies skipping around everywhere. While it sounds nice, no good for survival. So we need to end up somewhere in like a desert because I feel like a tundra area would be a really, really bad idea. So desert is going to be a lot better. Now in this last update, they did add both roads and rivers. So you can see we got some little paths, main roads and rivers. And I figure what we should do is find someplace, probably, this looks like a good area, with... Let's see, we want at least a road because, you know, we got to be some kind of trading hub because I love being trading hubs, or at least trying to be trading hubs. I don't know if I've ever actually succeeded at that in the past, but you know what? We're going to do it this time. And I figure we should also be on a river because, you know, I guess canals, question mark? That's not actually a thing. But I think we'll start here. We're in range of a couple small colonies and we got some evil guys, which, you know, you can't help. But this should do perfectly. Let us land. Who do we got here? Looks like we got Russell Rusty Shackelford. Shackelford? I am so sorry, Rusty. He was apparently a speed racer. Jeez. Ugh, that's amazing. Which apparently gives him +3 shooting and +3 social. Oh, he was in the seedy underworld, I see. He was a defense lawyer as well. That is really weird. He often defended the illegal speeder racers he grew up with. Oh, I get it. So he's like a speed racer, and he was like, dude, I see what's going on. There's like oppression in the system, and he was like, I gotta get up and defend my people. Unfortunately, that makes him a really terrible colonist because he's got basically everything disabled. But he's really good at shooting, and that's something, I guess. I mean, he can be a researcher. He's got 8 intellectual. So he's steadfast, psychically dull, and a pessimist. Sure. Here we have Dahlia the Oaf, who is also a Shackelford. Ooh, she's brother to Russell. Okay, she was a frightened child, probably frightened of Rusty and his constant running around and probably fighting people, maybe getting mad, who knows. As a result, she's learned to cook and care for herself, but many of her fears dog her in adulthood. So she can't do hunting, she's got medicine, and then she was a medieval farm oaf. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I kind of figured that given the whole Rusty growing up as a speeder racer, I would have assumed that he was doing something more like being in a city, but okay. I guess they were in some sort of medieval farmland. She's incapable of violent or intellectual actions because she's dumb. She's got a major artery block, which is a small problem. She is psychically sensitive and a pessimist. Apparently pessimism runs in the family between these two. Rusty, how can you be a lawyer and at the same time be a pessimist? I guess that given that he does so much work with illegal speeder racers, which, you know, by the very name shows that he's not going to win very many of those, probably made him a pessimist. And then we've got Ava Fleming, who is a scout and civil servant. This is a weird group of people. She is both intellectual and an artist. She's a prostaphobe and depressive. This is just a really, really cheery bunch of people. Let's just get in there. Let's just do this. Oh, my word. This is going to be the most downtrodden colony you have ever seen. Okay, let's land. Let's see what we got. Oh, look at this. This is so very different from our last colony. Okay, oh my word, look at that. Ooh, that is an antediluvian chamber if I ever seen one myself. That is beautiful. So, we've got a nice road here. Ooh, that is a really nice road. Look at how well kept that is. Ooh, somebody has been maintaining that road, and it's officially going to be our job to continue to maintain it. That is beautiful. So we're going to need to start up the colony as one would expect with the whole, starting a new colony. Generally, that includes at some point starting things up. What we're going to need to do is find a good place to settle, and I figure, You see, we want to try to use the actual structures that already exist to try to build our colony off of it. So if we can get somewhere, we don't want to be close to the edge. I figured this doesn't look like an antediluvian chamber, so we can potentially build in this area, maybe have our entrance pointing out here, and have some farmland in this area, as well as maybe a bit of over here. Cut down some of this cactus. We got a bunch of agave. I love agave. Agave is great. Unfortunately, I already know that we can't farm agave, which is disgusting. You should really be able to farm agave. That would be the best. Anyway, let's get the basic structures up and running here. We're going to need to figure out if that actually has anything in it. We're going to have to risk it. We're just going to have to open it up, I guess. Can somebody just deconstruct that? Good luck. Whoever does that is almost certainly going to die. Oh yeah, and we do need to get people equipped. So Rusty is the best shooter. You're getting the bolt action. Fleming's getting the pistol, and Dahlia, I mean, you can't do anything violent, but okay, you can't even pick up the plasteel knife. I see how it is, Dahlia. You don't want to help? I see. Wait, is she the only person who's on construction? We need more people on construction. So we should have wood here that we can start the colony with, and we'll need to start cutting down some of these trees to get basic wood, even though, it is the number one rule, that you never use wood if you have another choice. But, I mean, we don't really actually have another choice. We're going to claim all of this. This is going to actually be our first little dining area. So in terms of the mods, by the way, that we have on, we have most of the ones that we had last time. We've got furniture plus, more furniture, as well as the turrets, the more turrets mod. But we don't have colony leadership because that one hasn't updated yet. So unfortunately, nobody is going to legitimately be the leader of our colony. They're just going to sort of be the leader. And I think of all of these people, it's almost certainly Rusty is the leader of the colony. He clearly has the one-up on everyone else, being some sort of like mafia speed racer person. He knows exactly what needs to get done. And I'm pretty sure, he's where it's at. So, Rusty can't actually do much, can he? Rusty, you are disgusting. You're one of those armchair leaders, aren't you, Rusty? That's just terrible. I mean, if you're gonna be a leader, you actually gotta get out in the field and, like, I don't know, probably plow a field. And that's usually what you do in fields. But you gotta do something, and Rusty's first goal is going to be to hunt something. Looks like we got an ostrich here. We got a rare alpaca that appears to be just completely on its own. We don't want to hunt anything that's in a herd, because herds are very good at really trying to kill people. And last I checked, I don't want to die. I don't know why, but that just feels like a thing that we shouldn't do. So we're gonna get, as the very start, all of our basic rooms up and running, so that, we're gonna need to tear that down. Tear that down. That is against specs. We will have exactly perfect specifications for every room. Thank you very much. They will be identical. No one will have more or less. More because Rusty just, You know what? I don't feel like Rusty's the kind of person who would want everyone to have equal stuff. I think Rusty would want everyone to be equal except for him, because he's, you know, he is a big-time lawyer. He's a big-time speed racer. He doesn't care much for Fleming. Fleming's just a clerk. You know, Fleming probably worked under Rusty when he was a lawyer-type dude, so he's totally going to be about, like, lording over everyone else. So basically, he's become the Gabe of this colony. He is the terrible and vicious dictator that nobody really likes all that much, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, that should get basic bedding all situated. Gabe, of course, not Gabe, Rusty, of course, having the nice, very large, luxurious room with potentially, like, I don't know, an end table lamp. Yeah, look at that. Oh, he's gonna be living the high life in here. Look at that. Jeez. Rusty, you are such a tyrant. We have not been here for 5 seconds before you've decided to take over the entirety of the colony. You terrible, terrible person. Let's get him a nice, chair and table just to make this entire situation all the worse. You guys, I don't mean to be that person, but it doesn't appear that anyone's actually finished a single bed yet. And it's nighttime, and it just so happens that that's usually the time when you need the beds the most. Dahlia, can you... Oh, we need material. Oh, we don't have any more cutting jobs. That is a bit of a problem. I will admit this is probably my fault, but I'm going to pin it on all of the colonists, because it's much easier. Much, much easier. Fleming, do you have cut plants? You do. Get on that. And then tomorrow we're going to have to start growing stuff up. So let's get some nice, like, irrigated farmland right next to the river. You know, I didn't really consider this, but I very much hope that this river doesn't flood. Because last I checked, we are right next to the river, and that will flood. Basically everything that we know and love will go down in terrible flames if there was a flood to occur here. That would be quite bad. What's the growing on, people? Oh my word. Dahlia Shackleford, you have 11 growing? That is what I would call beautiful. Let's get some heel root up in here. We can basically grow whatever we want to at this point. Oh, that is so good. So, basic things we need to get up and running in the next day of the colony. We're going to need basic food. We're going to need a butcher's table. Production. We need a butcher's table. We need an electric stove. We need to get up probably a wind turbine. Yeah, I'm going to go with a wind turbine. We're going to put it... Oh, this sand is like actually perfect for a wind turbine because nothing's going to grow up in this sandy area. If we set them up like here... Oh, that'd be perfect. Oh, this is great. So we can start setting up basic wind turbines. We're, of course, going to need batteries pretty quickly. Where are we going to put those? I guess we can put them over here in a little battery shack. We'll have a little battery shack here. It'll be beautiful. Trust me. Trust me, if you have not seen a battery shack before, well, you're going to see the best darn battery shack that's ever existed in the world and will ever exist right out beside that main room. I did just realize this river may be a bit more of a problem than I thought. It just so happens that I don't think we can actually build over the river. No, we cannot. That is going to be a problem for colony defense. Now, people can't actually move through the deep running water, which is a bonus, that has to be said. But they can go through the shallow areas. Well, I mean, that's not the biggest issue right now. Our main goal is to just get the colony up and running, preferably prior to any terrible attack. But that is going to be an issue when we build the ultimate defensive line. I'm guessing we're going to have a defensive line somewhere along here up to like this structure, along over this way, and then cordoning off probably all of that area for the colony, maybe including this little structure here. But that's going to be interesting. We're going to have to do some pretty clever stuff with our defensive design. That is almost certainly going to be the case. Oh, look at that. We've got power up and running. We just need... Okay. We need a kitchen. So I figure a kitchen... We should definitely build over this sand, because I'm pretty sure... No, we can't put any farmland over the sand area, so it's going to be in our best interest to use this sand for construction, even though, you know, you're not supposed to build your house on sandy ground. You know what? This colony does not care. Last I checked, Rusty was not an architect. He's a lawyer. He doesn't understand how that kind of thing works. That's just kind of the sad life of Rusty as a lawyer. He has to build all of his stuff in terrible positions. There we go. That should work out nicely. We'll have a butcher's table and an electric stove. And then soon enough, we'll be getting in some... We'll be getting both some stockpiles and some research, because we're going to need to do a nice bit of research. What do we actually have in terms of our first level research? One of the main things we want is to get a geothermal vent, as per usual. So I guess we could go for that ASAP, because that's going to really simplify our power system. But we also want gun complexes. And we want... Wait a minute. Allows... Do we already have in security? Oh, we already have the basic gun complex set up. Oh, that's very nice. Perfect. Okay, so we already have our machine gun turrets that we can put up in different positions. So that does help quite a bit. Okay, Rusty, are you still doing nothing? Rusty, you are the worst. We give you the best stuff in the entire colony, and you do nothing to help anyone. Go shoot some stuff. I know we technically can't butcher any of this yet because we don't have a butcher's table, and that's kind of a small problem, but you know what, Rusty, you're going to have to get over it. You're going to become some sort of bloodlusting creature that just goes out and kills stuff for fun. I hope you don't mind that. I hope that's not, like, against your morals or anything, because I don't really care what your morals are. Rusty, you're both an illegal speed racer and a lawyer. I'm pretty sure you can get over it. Civil defense your way out of this one. Okay, that was terrible. I will admit, I thought of that one beforehand. I thought it was going to be good, but upon actually having said it, it was disgustingly bad. I apologize for that terrible lawyer joke that will never again be told. Rusty, I'm sorry. Why are you wandering all the way out there? Rusty is the worst colony leader we have ever had. And that's saying something, because we had Gabe. I mean, Rambo was actually a pretty good leader, and Magar was pretty solid, but Bradley and Gabe were pretty bad leaders, but Rusty has already proven himself to be quite inept. Hasn't? Oh, okay, there's just not enough actual wood to build that. Ha! Get wrecked, Rusty. You don't even have a bed yet. I mean, Dahlia still doesn't have a bed either. In fact, Fleming appears to have only built her bed, which I don't agree with, Fleming. I know that Rusty's not a good person, but you gotta look out for your colony members, Fleming. You can't just be that dude who goes around and just builds their own beds. That's what we call not a team player. Not in the slightest. So, in terms of additional furniture, we'll need an animal sleeping spot, probably just in there, because we have a cat, I think? You know, I don't even remember. Yeah, there we go. This is our cat, named Jagged. That is quite nice. Maybe at some point we will butcher and eat said cat. However, I'm going to very much hope that that is not going to be a thing, because, you know, it's not exactly the best thing. What, is that the 4th of April, May? Oh, I see. We actually have months now. Crazy. Crazy concept. Oh, and seasons aren't 15 days each. They're like, what is that? 15 times 4, that's 60 days each. Oh, that's so much nicer. Oh, it's so much more realistic. Oh, look at all that realism. So much disgusting, putrid realism. Now, I think somewhere in here was there... I do recall having seen a caravan spot. No, that might not be a thing. No, there is. Yeah, caravan parking spot. Designates a spot where caravans will be formed. Oh, I see. So if we want to set up a caravan, we can get a caravan parking spot to make certain that that it shows up in a particular area. That is nice. I do like that. We're gonna need a stockpile soon enough because our components are probably falling apart, which is kind of a problem. So we'll set up a nice stockpile there, get it all structured up. Oh, look at all this wood. This is disgusting. I really hate wood. Wood is the worst building material. I mean, admittedly, there's not actually that much to burn on this map, so I'm pretty sure wildfires won't be a serious issue, but, you know, it's still a problem. By the way, where is the nearest geothermal vent? Have we built our entire colony, like, eons away from any geothermal vent? Oh, we have. Oh, we have. Why would I do that? Why would I not check the geothermal? We could have built over here. There's even rich soil over here. This is so much better of a place to build a Okay, fine. Calm down. Calm down. It's fine. It's under control. Look, we're on a river. That increases property value. It's fine. This colony's going to fail. It's going to fail terribly. We even chose rough as our starting position. Oh my word, we can't be making these mistakes. We cannot be doing this. How many components do we have left? 30. Wow. Okay, that's a lot. Let's set up a couple nice defensive positions out here, because that is the next thing that we need to get done. So we'll have kind of a square section defensive position so that we can be attacked from basically any side and still be able to defend ourselves. And of course, we're going to need one on the other side of the river in case they come from the other direction. And we'll have just a couple gun complexes and mostly sandbags because, you know what? Sandbags are the best. That's just how it goes. Okay. The colony's actually coming along quite nicely, despite Rusty being a terrible person. But for now, that'll bring us to the end of this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Next time, we will continue with this great colony that is currently completely unnamed, and I'm not even going to name it yet because, you know what, that comes later. And I don't have a good name for it because it hasn't done anything. You can't name something until it's done something, and currently it's done very little. But anyway, until then, thanks for watching, and of course, as always, enjoy the rest of your day.